Hi everyone. It seems like a dry season and you're stuck. What happens in a dry season before a harvest? What should we do while we wait? Do we just sit idle and say we're just waiting on God? Or can we call this a moment of stagnation or a time that we feel stuck? And in that season, do we sometimes lose inspiration? Do we start questioning whether, what we planted is ever going to grow? Is this the time when people give up because they cannot see the results of their labor? Is this the time when we become restless because we've done everything we know, but nothing seems to be happening? I was thinking about planting and harvesting. I came across a story in the Bible in Mark 4, which talks about a man who scatters seeds on the ground. He plants the seeds and then he goes about his life. He sleeps, he wakes up, night comes, day comes, and sometimes and then somehow the seed began to grow. There's one part of the story that really caught my eye, is that the farmer does not know how it grows. He planted it, but he does not actually know what happens beneath the surface, underneath the soil. He does not know how it happens and what the process is like. Is that not how sometimes life feels? You've planted, you've put in the work, you've sacrificed. Maybe you've sacrificed time with your family. Maybe you've put some things aside because you were focusing on something that you genuinely believed would grow. You've done all that you know, and then you wait. Nothing happens. Another day passes, nothing happens. Another month passes, maybe another year, and you start asking God, what now? Because when we plant something, we are expecting it to grow, isn't it? We can't just plant and think, okay, it is what it is. We are expecting growth. And if there is good soil and the conditions are good and water, eventually something should come out, isn't it? But what happens when you cannot see anything? What happens when you've done all you can and there's still nothing visible to harvest? Do you give up? Do you try again? Do you plant something else? Do you keep watering, or do you simply wait? That is what I find interesting about this story. The farmer could not see what was happening underneath the soil. Imagine if he had dug up the seed every morning just to check whether it was growing. Maybe sometimes that is what we do, isn't it? We keep checking and checking to see what is happening. Like we plant something today and tomorrow we are checking. God, and you're asking God, where is the result? I've prayed about this. I've been working hard on this. I have sacrificed for this. Where is the actual harvest? But the farmer in Mark 4 had something important to understand. His job was just to plant the seed. He could not make it grow. Even if he had put in the right conditions, he still could not physically make it grow. We can create the right conditions, we can water, but there comes a point where we have to acknowledge that there are things that are completely outside our control. And maybe that is where the word faith comes in. Faith is easier when you can see the little green shoot sprouting off the ground, but what about when there's nothing that is coming? All you see is ground and the soil. What about what everything still looks exactly the same as it did yesterday? What then do we do? Do we dig the seed again and decide, maybe, we can try again? Or do we trust God that something is underneath is happening, but I just don't know. I cannot see it, but I don't know. I think it will come out. Just having that faith. Jesus says eventually the seed sprouts and grows. First the stalk, then the head, and then the full grain. And when the grain is ready, the harvest comes. There was a process, and maybe sometimes we become discouraged because we are looking for the harvest when we are in the process. Maybe the process is still growth. Maybe the process is planting. The process is probably totally different from what we are looking. Maybe sometimes the question should be, God, what season am I in? Am I in the planting? Am I in the watering? Am I in the growing? And am I in the waiting period? Or is it actually harvest time? But there's something else I have been thinking about. Sometimes the fruit will come, but not in the way that we expected it. Maybe you started the podcast and you thought the harvest would be thousands and thousands of listeners. But in the process, you've learned how to edit videos, you've learned how to speak, you've learned how to communicate your message. Maybe the podcast has not grown in the way that you expected, but you yourself have grown. Maybe you started the business and the business has not been profitable. You've invested a lot of money in there. You look at it and think, God, where is the harvest? Where's the profit? I've put in so much in it. I've invested a lot of money and invested time. I've sacrificed time with my family and with my friends. What has come out of it? Nothing. Zero, zilch, according to our own eyes, right? But maybe we need to look at it again. What did you learn in the process? Maybe you have learned marketing. Maybe you've learned how to sell. Maybe you've learned how to negotiate. Maybe you've also learned how to deal with disappointment. Maybe you've actually developed resilience as well in that process. Maybe those skills are part of the harvest. Maybe what God wanted you to gain from that season was not only profit, but those skills that could help you maybe in the long run. Maybe in the process of preaching, you've developed confidence, you've found your voice, you've become comfortable standing in front of people. You learned how to communicate. You thought the harvest was going to be people you reached out to, but perhaps something was also happening inside you. You were learning some skills, and maybe that is the part we sometimes miss. We have already decided that the harvest is going to be money. We've already decided that success should be like this. The business must make this much money. The podcast must have this much listeners. This ministry must reach this many people. The opportunity must open this particular door. And when it does not happen like that, then we start saying, nothing happened, nothing came out of it. This was a waste of time. This was a waste of money. But did nothing really come out of it? Can we go down and deeper and just really think? Maybe something grew that you were not looking for. Maybe the business did not grow, but you grew. Maybe the platform did not grow, but your confidence grew. Maybe the opportunity did not come, but your skills grew. Maybe the thing that you planted was, the environment was good. God used you to grow something else in you. Nature gives us an amazing analogy of life. When you put a seed in the ground, you cannot stand above the soil and see everything that is happening underneath. But that does not mean nothing is happening. And maybe there are seasons in our lives that look exactly like that. On the surface, nothing seems to be moving. Nothing seems to be changing. Nothing seems to be growing. But underneath, something could be developing that we cannot see yet. Right? You see other people developing and you start to think, what a waste of time. And sometimes maybe their harvest is already there. We just do not recognize it because it does not look like the way we've prayed. God help us to see. God help us to see the harvest that we might be missing. Because sometimes we are looking for money and you are showing us growth. We're looking for numbers and you are showing us confidence. We are looking for recognition and you are developing our character. We are looking for the big harvest while overlooking the small things that have already started growing inside us. So maybe today you have a plant or you've planted something. Maybe it is something in your career, your family, your marriage, your ministry, your business, your education, something that you've been praying for. Right now, all you can see is the soil. Maybe you're asking God, why is it so dry, God? Why am I stuck? I've planted, I've watered, I've sacrificed, I've waited. Where is the harvest? Maybe today we need to ask a different question or different questions. God, what season am I in? What season is happening inside me? If I need to water, show me. If I need to wait, give me patience. If I need to plant again, give me courage. If I need to change something, give me the wisdom. And if something is already growing underneath that I cannot see, give me the faith to trust you. And Lord, if the harvest is already come, but I have not been I've been too focused on what I expected it to look like, help me to see. Help me to recognize the skills I have gained. Help me to recognize that I've got confidence. I've developed certain skills that I did not have. Help me to recognize the person I've become. Help me to recognize the doors that I've opened because of what I've actually learned in the season. Because maybe the harvest we are looking for is already right in front of our eyes. We have developed it already. Maybe what looked like a dry season was not an empty season after all. Maybe something was growing all along. And I want to leave you with this question today. What are the things you have been calling a failure actually produced a harvest? Just not the harvest that you expected. Take some time and look again. Look at who you've become. Look at where you've been and what you've learned. How did you grow? What can you do today that you couldn't do before? Maybe that is where we begin to see what God has been doing underneath the soil. So God, what now? Help us to recognize what is growing even when we do not see. This is Bridget from God What Now. If you've enjoyed watching this or listening to this podcast, please share your story so that you can encourage someone. If you can subscribe as well. Your subscription helps this podcast to grow, and it also means that you will not miss the next conversation. And I'd really love to hear from you in the comments. What harvest have you received that did not look like the harvest that you expected? Maybe it was a skill you learned, maybe it was confidence, maybe it was something else totally different that you've actually developed. Hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you. Have a great day. Thank you.